How's it going, Orange County? This is Ray back with another episode of the Orange and Black SoccerCast. We got a few things to discuss. Match this past Friday up in Fresno that saw Orange County blow a 2-0 lead in the second half. Oh, and we've got some people possibly coming to town, and we're going to have to discuss it. Chance to get some revenge as Orange County fans against the hated Phoenix Rising FC. This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast.
We are underway in the postseason, the first playoff game ever played in Orange County.
It's a 1-2, Godoy. He's found a great ball into Voltson. Plenty of time. He smashes it home and doubles the visitors' lead. Thomas Voltson.
Now Segber sprinting forward on the counterattack. A little handsy there, crosses it. Pineda, the extra pass. Seaton finishes.
It rolls down to his left and burying aside. Well taken care of by the Orange County keeper.
We'll leave it for Aiden Quinn.
He'll strike towards goal, and it's gone in! An equalizer and a winner in second half stoppage time for Orange County off the left boot of Aiden Quinn.
This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast, the only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. Follow us on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast and on Facebook at Orange and Black SoccerCast. How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black SoccerCast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Zamora, and I am with you each and every episode as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. Joining me, as he does each and every episode, we've got Dylan from County Line Coalition. Dylan, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. I hope everyone's having a good Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning or whatever time that you happen to be listening to this.
And yeah, I hope everyone is having a wonderful time, whatever time it is that you're listening to this. We're going to have some fun in this episode. I can just feel it. But before we get started with all that, we also got to welcome back another, what seems to be now a regular with our show. He contributes to our website in written form. He's been on our almost every episode this season, and that's Alan. Alan, welcome back to the Orange Black SoccerCast.
Thanks. Hope everyone's doing all right as well.
I'm doing as well as I could be doing at this moment. We're getting off to a little bit of a late start because I had a little bit of a family mishap a little bit earlier today, but pushed things back, and I was trying to get prepared for the show. I just found out that my son somehow, some way today at school, while playing basketball with a soccer ball, jammed his pinky finger and actually ended up being fractured. So now we're trying to figure out what we need to do to try and get that taken care of, and it probably means no more soccer for him for a few weeks.
Come on, you just gotta wrap that thing up. Give him some injections. Have him play through it. Some
of that little freeze spray when it starts bothering him.
The Jose Mourinho way. You hound him. You got to play for me. And you bang your chest a whole bunch like you're in the Wolf of Wall Street, and you just bang your chest. You play for me. Screaming at him.
You know, if he was getting paid to play, then I might tell him, hey, tough it up, get out there, tape it up, get a little splint, whatever you need to do. But he's 6 years old. This is recreational soccer at this point, and he hasn't quite mastered the art of falling down. So I think if he was to play and he gets knocked over, he is typically playing with larger kids because he does play a year up. He probably would just not ruin it, but do more damage than what it's worth. So I figured probably have to sit him out. It's going to be a blow for him. I don't know if he quite yet knows that that's what's happening. So, but I'm sure once he figures that out, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we got some stuff to talk about this week. Again, Fresno just happened on Friday, and I will say the first 45 minutes of that match, I guess, looked pretty well, right? I think we had some fans that traveled up there. There was even a shout out I saw on Facebook from one of the fans that did make their way up there watching on the ESPN Plus stream that basically they said that the announcers for the game recognized the traveling fans. At first, they thought they were going to say it was the home fans booing, but they realized it was the traveling fans that made it out there. Dylan, you were part of that group. How was the trip up to Fresno?
Well, it was great up until the second half, but if we're talking about beforehand, no, it was a good time. They've got a nice little setup despite playing in a baseball stadium. They've got a nice brewery across the street, and everyone from the fire squad was super welcoming and nice to talk to. And everyone got up there early with some time, so we all had time to get checked into our hotels and head on over and get a couple brews in, and then get to work chanting. So it was a good time.
And it seems like the Fresno away section, if that's the away section you guys were at, I saw you on the screen on the stream on one of the goals. You guys were right there with flag, just right there center screen. Decent spot to have the away the traveling fans. And I know when Phoenix fans listen to this, they're going to sort of laugh or joke about our traveling fans because apparently they like to travel a lot. We'll get into that later. But was that the traveling fan section up in Fresno, or did you guys sneak your way closer into a better area?
That's what the section that our tickets had for it, so that's where we went. But it's actually a pretty terrible place to see the game. You're really far away from it, from the field, and you don't really get a good angle of anything. So it's a downgrade in terms of like baseball stadium. It's a downgrade from Reno, definitely, in quality of the pitch and quality of where we were sitting, but in quality of result, let's be realistic. They might have both been draws, but this one hurt a lot more than the last one did.
It's becoming too much commonplace. Too
commonplace.
Yeah, I had to add that extra.
Too commonplace. Too commonplace.
That much was in there for emphasis. It's become too common for this team now that they're just continuously getting draws, whether they're ahead or behind at the time of or in the match. And yeah, it's just, I guess, becoming frustrating at this point. But it's not yet time to start worrying. At least that's what I'm going to say. Let me jump to you, Alan. You were watching this match on the stream. What were your thoughts on how this match went for Orange County?
I would have to agree. The first half, I mean, even though the 2 goals are early, there were several opportunities late. I thought that they could have easily been up by 3. Like I literally wrote that in my journal. Should have been up 3. Said that one-on-one with Amaya, I think, right at in stoppage time. They could have put him down 3 right at halftime. And then after halftime, it just felt like we're back to our old on the road Jekyll and Hyde team that we just come out without the same type of fire. I thought Fresno made the right substitutions at the right time to really put momentum on that side. Came with like Cheney, that wrecking ball. Cheney and Moses came on. That kind of changed the game. Obviously, Moses ended up not staying for the whole game. But I think that was a big push for Fresno, is that put Moses on, changed the whole complexion of the game, and Orange County just looked like they got kind of punched in the face and then just couldn't recover.
And I mean, the fact that Orange County was able to get a goal quite early in the match, for those of you on our YouTube stream, you can see some of the highlights from the match. Those highlights are courtesy of USL Productions. But, you know, we got on the scoreboard early. It seems like, for whatever reason, it's like you said, Alan, it's this 45 minutes of good soccer, 45 minutes of, I guess, frustrating soccer for the fans, and results in a 2-2 draw. Dylan, what were your thoughts, I guess, heading into halftime there at the stadium?
I mean, I knew we'd need to do some more work to get through the full 90. I just didn't expect to come out of halftime so flat-footed. It's like they were done. Like 3-0, I think, in one half. Yeah, that's a game that's not going to come back. None of these teams have the quality to really come back from that. But the 2-0 is, I mean, they say it's the most dangerous lead in soccer, and we proved it. You just shut off for a minute. You get a little bit lazy. They get one back, and then all of a sudden everyone's really nervous, and no one wants to make a mistake, and it gets really sketchy really quickly. And then, you know, you're one bad call away from an equalizing goal. So it was bad. It was a bad performance. First 15 minutes, sure, great. We played our game. We played it well. We were away at that, so it was impressive. And then just from that point on, it was a disaster.
And I guess it's disappointing that that second goal for Fresno came on a free kick right outside the penalty box, one of the more difficult areas as a defender and a goalkeeper to stop the ball from going into the net. Orange County had their chance late in the game, I think an extra time with a similar position. They just could not, they couldn't capitalize on it, which again, it's part of this whole tale of two halves things with this team. It seems like that's the theme for the season. And there's something that needs to be done that this team, or whether it's the coaching staff or the players, need to maybe get together and figure out what do we need to do to put together a full 90 minutes of quality soccer. We've maybe seen that one time this season. Other than that, it's been, I don't know,
40 to 60 minutes of play.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is a coaching staff issue, because from our section, we could hear Braden, head coach Braden Cloutier, yelling at the players. And they weren't in our half. This is when Orange County was on attack, so he wasn't facing us. We could still hear him yelling, despite the thousands of people that were there. And they were getting pretty excited because I think they'd either equalized or it was 2-1 at that point. So there's some disconnect, or there was some disconnect between what the coaching staff wants and what the players are doing those last 20 minutes of a game. And it's cost us a few points now. And it's unacceptable, really. I don't understand why it's happening.
What I think for you, Dylan, you spoke to, I believe, Jerry Von Wolfgang after the match, and you sort of asked him like about sort of the game plan, or why was Orange County sort of sitting back in that second half? Was that sort of the game plan, or was that just, what they were doing? What did you get out of Jerry when you asked him that question? And did you like the answer you received on that question?
I was trying to be as kind as, I was pissed, if I'm completely honest, but I was trying to be as kind and understanding as possible. It's not his specific fault that the rest of the team, the 11 people kind of eased off. And so I just I basically wanted to know, was that the coaching staff saying, all right, save yourselves because it's going to be a difficult last 20 minutes? Or was that the players going, all right, well, we pressed for 60 minutes and I'm tired and I just don't feel like doing it anymore. Because that happens. We see that a lot. And I basically wanted to get an answer out of him if that was what was happening. But he kind of just seemed like not calling himself or any of his teammates out that there was a bit of fatigue from such a high press and that they weren't really up to it in the last little bit.
Alan, let me get to you again. Do you see a problem with how, I guess, that second half went for Orange County as far as the tactics, the lack of, I don't know, being aggressive, I guess, at that point in the match until it was, a little too late?
I think I agree with Dylan. It just feels like there was kind of a lack of any type of urgency. And it's like when you're up 2-0, you're like, we can give one up and we'll be fine. But that's never the case. Like, you never just give one up. It's always like they give momentum back. And I do feel it felt a little bit like we're going to sit back. We're not going to attack them. We're not going to really press them. We're going to, try to weather a storm for a minute because we came out so hot. And it's like, how about we come out as hot at the beginning of the second half as we came out of the first half? Maybe put one in the beginning of the first half like we did, or second half like we did the first half, and we were probably in a much better situation for sure going forward. It's always interesting. It was interesting to me to hear them say the same thing they said after Tacoma. It was like, hey, we feel like we've got things headed in the right direction. I think we're off to a great start. We just haven't really put it all together yet. It's like it's getting to the point where, like I think we said this last time, like when do we start to worry that it's not really ever going to click? Like if you say, hey, it's going to click, it's going to click, it's going to click, we feel like it's going to click. Sometimes it just never quite clicks. And so it's always a little bit worrisome.
Definitely. I don't want to stew too much on this match. Frustrating match for the fans to blow the opportunity to get 3 points up in Fresno. Fresno just seems to know how to draw every team they're playing out there. I believe at this point they're one of the last, if not the last, undefeated team, at least in the Western Conference. So a little bit frustrating there. So I sort of want to just look past that match. I don't want to talk about it much anymore unless you guys have anything else you feel like you have to share with the match before we sort of move on past it.
Oh, absolutely.
Go for it,
and I talked to Alan on Sunday when we were at a soccer game together. The ref, and actually I talked to a few people, Orange County related and not. This ref was absolute garbage, and I can't say the words that I'd like to say on this podcast because then you have to go back and edit it. But so inconsistent, and basically everyone I've talked to has said, if you're going to call things, at least be consistent. So either every hard challenge is going to be a call or maybe a card, or none of them are, and not this like, oh, you're going to get a yellow for this, but this guy's not going to get a yellow for it when he does it 20 minutes later. And that goes both ways. I don't know. I still haven't rewatched it because I don't want to deal with it. But the last 2 minutes of the game, Aiden Quinn getting into it with someone from Fresno, that probably should have been a card. But it didn't happen. And then we see just weird challenges. The free kick that Juan Pablo Caffa took shouldn't have been a free kick, because if you chip the ball up into someone's hand that's next to you and their hand isn't out, it's not a handball, then contact. So it's...
So you're telling me the refs weren't the finest refs in the world?
Shockingly, referees did not provide a pro referee for this game.
I think by now, Dylan, we just have to live with it, be used to it. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, as a fan, as a supporter of this beautiful sport, this beautiful game, it does become frustrating when you see some questionable decisions out there. To sort of, I guess, back up a referee in this situation, it's difficult to see and make every single call correct. And there's a reason why these refs are reffing the USL and not reffing, say, the Champions League, Premier League, MLS, whatever it may be. So, yeah. And I think we've talked about it in the past, Dylan. I think I forget the source, so I apologize for whoever provided this information, but I believe from what I read 6 months ago or something, is it's more lucrative for these refs to ref NCAA matches than it is USL championship matches, which I guess that's a whole nother problem in itself right there.
I think that would have been Sock Takes. I think that was Nippon Chopra.
Yeah.
So they're good at what they do. But yeah, it was just that like caps off my disappointment about that game. It was just, I mean, it was an embarrassing second half, realistically. I asked for 3 players. I talked to Oliver. He said, oh, meet me at the tunnel. And then I waited like half an hour, and then Jerry came out, and I got like 2 minutes from Jerry, and then
that was it.
No one else was coming out. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to come out. And I'm sure that Braden was less than pleased.
Well, I guess let's just say this is you and I both know, Alan, I don't know, you haven't really gotten a chance to be in this situation yet. When the coaching staff is frustrated with the outcome of how a match happened, typically you're lucky if you can speak to a player, let alone multiple players. So, I mean, that's that, right? Alan, any last thoughts on this Fresno match before we move on and look ahead to the big matchup this weekend?
No, I'm pretty excited to come back up and check it out.
Perfect. So we're going to move forward then past Fresno, get past that ugly taste in our mouths. We're going to look ahead to a match where I believe Orange County soccer players, Orange County fans are looking for a little bit of revenge against the big time enemies from Phoenix, the big rivals, I guess. Both teams heading into the season, I think we're looking at, doing something good, possibly both competing for the Western Conference title again, but it's been a little bit of a struggle so far. To help us talk about this, we have brought on a guest. It's a returning guest, someone that joined us last season. This proves that it's not all, rivalry, bitter ugliness against the two sides, because, we appreciate anytime any other podcast or grassroots media joins us. And Dylan and I got a chance to meet this guy at the stadium at the championship matchup, Western Conference Championship matchup. Great person. And that's Kevin Gates from the I always get this wrong. What is it? PRFC Fan Show, right, Kevin?
That's it. PRFC Fan Show.
I don't know why it's so hard for me to just say it. It just rolls off your tongue. And for me, I have to think of the acronym, maybe because you're just so used to those four letters all next to each other. How's everything going for you out in the desert, Kevin?
Everything's going great out in the desert. We're having a good time. The team's starting to get fit and in form, and we're really enjoying it. So we're really looking forward to the game this weekend.
And let's just get to the thick of things here, as far as how the season's been going so far for your team as well as our team. Would it be a good observation of these two teams that neither team is living up to their expectations so far this early in the season?
I think that when it comes to Phoenix Rising, the first couple of games we were not. I think the last two games, though, we've started to show that things are coming together. We had some, I want to call them roster issues, where we had a couple of, we just had a lot of moving in and out of our starting 11. We've settled down with that. We've started to get the chemistry that we need. And we went through and had a great game last weekend against Tacoma. And, granted, Tacoma, not a strong opponent. I hear the laughter already, right? But it's not just about the team that we're playing. It was how our team was playing together, and we're starting to see the team playing together that we had last season, and so that's very exciting for us. When it comes to Orange County, you guys lost a couple of key players. Aiden Quinn really is kind of the hook for you all right now. I look at your defense and I wonder, what's going to happen there. You've had a key injury. I can't think of what his name is.
It's Christian Duke.
Yeah, Christian Duke. Thank you. Number 20, right?
Yes.
Midfielder, great player, big time respect for him. So that's a big hole for you guys. But it kind of looks like for me, and I did review a little bit of tape, that your defense has got some of the holes that Phoenix Rising was showing at the beginning of the season. So there's a little shoring up to do there. So it's going to make for an interesting match because, we're kind of coming into form. Orange County, might be coming into form. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I know you guys have a pretty big chip on your shoulder from last year, right? So that always counts for something.
Yeah, pretty big chip on our shoulders, correct. I mean, last season, for those of you maybe that are new to USL, new to Orange County, or maybe even Phoenix, if any of you Phoenix fans are out there listening, last year, what is it? Was it October, November, Western Conference Final at Championship Soccer Stadium? Phoenix comes in, gets an early goal in the match, and are able to sort of sit back and force Orange County to press. In the end, 2-1 for Phoenix. Phoenix moved on to the USL Championship, while Orange County and their fans were sort of left in a little bit of a disappointment there. Dylan, do you have any questions or do you have any thoughts on anything on this match?
Yeah, as we rewatch Alex Crognale forgetting what he's doing on a pitch, we don't have to worry about that this season, so that's always nice. I really just wanted to get the Alex Crognale jab out there. And this was maybe not his worst performance in an Orange County shirt last year, but those 2 goals were his fault. And yeah. So
really quick, just in case Kevin doesn't know, because we're talking, Kevin, we're streaming live on YouTube, and we actually are throwing on some highlights that were USL Championship gave us permission to throw out on our show. So I just wanted to let you know why Dylan's talking about Alex Crognale, even though he has nothing to do with the match this year. But go ahead, Dylan.
Kevin, how worried does Orange County need to be about Phoenix's pace? I mean, obviously Solomon Asante is ridiculously quick. And I think Junior Fleming's right as well. Is he pacey as well?
Yeah, Junior's fast. Solomon's fast. Jason Johnson is fast. I mean, honestly, and of course, I'm going to be a little bit biased because I'm a Phoenix Rising fan. The bottom line is, I would challenge any team, at least in the Western Conference, maybe in the Eastern Conference too, to find a faster offense on the pitch this year.
Oh boy.
Which is scary for us because I think we've been struggling against any kind of pace because I think we have some of the slower center backs in the league.
Well, one of them's injured.
Which one's injured?
Leonardo.
Oh, he's injured. Okay. Well, great.
But we've got the big and young and other thing, Walker Hume. And then we have, I guess Hugo Arellano is our quick center back.
Our quote unquote quick one. I mean, I don't know how quick he really is, but
so Kevin, what are you worried about from Orange County in this game?
I mean, honestly, you always have to give Aiden Quinn respect. You never know what Aiden's gonna pull out of his hat. When I haven't seen enough this year to really see anything that has me overly worried. Honestly, the thing that we're starting to feel confident because we're getting the chemistry that we've been looking for all season. We've got a very strong midfield that's starting to produce a lot of creativity. And when you start combining that with the speed that we've got up front, and it's not just single layer speed, right? If we've got Junior Fleming's playing on the left and he gets tired, we throw in JJ Johnson and we've got rockets on the left side all over again. We've got Mustafa in the back. He's playing right fullback, and he loves to play aggressively. He loves to bring the ball upfield, and he is fast. You all are familiar with Amadou Dia. He's the same way on the left-hand side. Again, I'm not saying that we're firing on all cylinders, but you have to look at the team and think there is a very potent chemistry developing with this team. It's taken some time. So when it comes to Orange County, I played midfield back in the 1800s when I played footy, right? So I'm always looking at the midfielders as being the orchestrators of the game. And Aiden Quinn not only can score, but he is also a great leader when it comes to orchestrating. What I do, and I did listen to most of what you guys talked about with the Rising as One pod today. I wanted to get through some of that. And what I do see is that you are kind of missing some of the intensity, and his name is popping out of my head. Who did you guys lose?
Thomas Enevoldsen.
Thank you. Yeah. And, truth be told, he was an ass kicker. He was somebody who was on the field demanding that the quality be higher, pushing players all the time. We're still searching for that a little bit with Phoenix Rising, truth be told. But I think that's a hole on your side too. And it's going to be interesting to see how players step up. This is a grudge match. Not only is it a grudge match from Orange County because you guys lost in the Western Conference final last year, but Phoenix Rising, PRFC fan show has kind of participated in this. I named you guys our rival team, our nemesis team last year, because you guys, in the first game of the season, you guys pulled off a draw at the last minute that drove us crazy. You've got a strong team. You always seem to have our number to some degree. And so, Orange County has become the team that we just love to hate. And that's why you see Orange County Hate Week and all that kind of stuff. I'm not as intense as other people because, in the end, it's just a game. But I do love a good rivalry. And let's face it, Las Vegas Lights isn't bringing nothing. So we got to find it somewhere.
So let me just ask this. Can I take credit for some of this rivalry and this hate week stuff? Because I feel like your fans love to hate me and some of the stuff I like to say. I say it all out of fun. I mess around. I respect your fans and your club. I just like to do it because it seems like some of your fans get riled up really easily with some of the stuff I have to say. And I want to say maybe this is just me being really cocky, but I swear I read a tweet where someone was talking about someone named Ray crying a lot, which I was just assuming was a reference at me. but maybe it's a different Ray and maybe that's something different. I mean, can I take a little bit of credit for this hatred that you guys have for Orange County?
Yeah, you can take credit there. And that comment, I'm pretty darn sure was directed right at you. One of the things that I don't understand, and I'm going to get in deep water here. I want you guys to understand. I'm going to get in deep water with the Phoenix Rising fans because they're going to wish that I was, being a little bit more shady. But the bottom line is I don't give a shit how big an SG group is. It's the passion. Okay. So all this talk about how big the SG groups are and how many people understands, I really don't care. It's about the passion of the people that are there. Right. And that's part of the fun of the game. At the same time, you guys have seen I've thrown a little shade this week. You've reacted to a couple of my tweets, but that's just the fun of it. There's nothing personal. We just, if you don't have a good rivalry, what the heck's the purpose of the game?
And as long as you can have fun with each other and not turn it into, man, I hate this person over this stuff. I mean, when I jokingly throw out on our Twitter feed about how Phoenix is such a horrible city, I know that you can. I think someone called it out. I think it was AZ Sport Soccer Radio or whatever that Twitter account is. I know you can pretty much type in any major city name and find, why is that place horrible. I just felt, got to have some fun. And I don't think many Orange County fans and people jump into that as much as I do. I like it. It's fun. Really quick before I got to stop patting myself on the back, but our buddy Alan's been sitting here nice and quiet for the last minute listening to what we have to say. I don't want him to feel like we're ignoring him. Alan, do you have anything you want to throw into this conversation? Do you have a question for Kevin?
Sure. I know Jason Johnson got subbed out in the 10th minute for an injury. Is there any concern about him being ready to play? I know he's not starting every game, but I know he's part of that group that you talked about as far as being pacey and dangerous up front.
Yeah, Jason did pull out. Honestly, I don't know one way or the other about what his physical status was. I did see him walking around a little bit after his injury. It didn't look that bad.
Good.
I think it's better safe than sorry type of scenario. They have been flipping JJ and Junior Flemings back and forth, experimenting with the starting 11. When you really look at it, just having those two, the depth there on the left side is just ridiculous. I mean, they are both very talented players with jets on their heels.
Yeah, it's just terrible. I mean, I know rivalries and all, but you just hate to see a guy go down early and have to get subbed off, and you kind of just hope that, it's not as serious as it seems and that he's going to be all right. I mean, maybe miss a game against Orange County, but definitely recover quickly so they can beat up on the Western Conference.
Yeah, agreed. Well, unfortunately, even if I did know something, I wouldn't be able to say it because it would be, as with any team, they keep that stuff close to their chest. And
you could tell us. We won't tell anyone.
Yeah.
It's okay. According to your own fans, no one ever actually listens to us. So it'd be I don't know, saying nothing at all or something.
And we have 3 fans at total. So yeah, it wouldn't really matter, right?
The same can be said about me, actually. But the 3 people who will listen will be the front office for Phoenix Rising. And then I won't be able to do player interviews anymore and my life will end. So I'll just
at least we have the same function then. I'm glad that we both have the same worth and player interviews.
Hey, if that ever happened, Kevin, just know you can come join us here at the Orange Black SoccerCast and become an Orange County fan. I mean, we won't hold your previous fandom against you.
Yeah, I appreciate the offer. We'll leave it at that. I'm jealous of that beer, by the way.
Yeah, you know what? It's I'm trying something new. It's an interesting taste your first sip, but once you get used to it, actually it's pretty nice. I'm going to just show the picture right here. I went to the local wine mart that has craft brews all over the place, and I decided to try something new. It's pretty decent. It's decently strong too, I think so.
Blonde ales are good
with a little bit of that horchata feeling to it. So let me ask you this, Kevin. And I don't want to get you in trouble with your fellow Phoenix Rising fans. So if you want to plead the fifth or whatever, you can. What can Orange County do, or what does Orange County need to do in this match to win? What's the weak spot for Phoenix this season, or at least at this point of the season?
Oh man, yeah, you are trying to get me in trouble.
And do know that some of the players do potentially listen to our podcast. So whatever you say, they're going to share with everyone, just so you know.
You know what? Really, when it comes down to it, I think this is going to be kind of a general statement because I'm not gonna rat out the team entirely, but you got to have the basics. You got to be able to pass well. You got to be able to see where the long strategy is on as a play develops. What I have not seen a lot of, and let's face it, we played El Paso. We played Fresno, which is a good team. New Mexico United is a good team. We tied those first games, and one of the reasons I think that the ties existed was, first of all, we still just didn't have our crap together. That was a real problem. But like say New Mexico United kept tight, they passed well, they developed plays, they put the ball in the back of the net, and we were falling apart. I don't think that's going to hold as strongly with the squad and the way they've developed at this point. But it really just comes down to, and I know this is kind of a cop out, but it comes down to footy fundamentals. Pass the ball well, develop the plays, get space, try to get the ball in the back of the net.
And can I just say, I love it because not many Americans will say football or footy. So I love that, Kevin. Awesome. Keep saying it all day long.
I did play in Germany, so it's a habit.
Okay, good. Dylan or Alan, do you guys have anything else you want to ask out of our buddy here, Kevin?
Yeah, so this one is entirely in jest, but obviously Drogba is retired. But currently Phoenix leads the league in shots taken at 149 and has only scored 15 goals, I think.
Yeah,
so
somewhere in there.
Who is blasting them over the bar now?
It's funny.
What a low blow, Dylan.
Well, now, it's not a low blow. We're going to own the stats the way they are. I mean, if you really want to look at it, there are a lot of statistics where we're leading the league right now. Passing percentage, for instance, is which I think is a very important stat. I think we're in second place actually with that one. When it comes to shots taken, I think if there was a statistic for a team who's hit the post the most, we would be far and away the highest number for that. We've hit the post more, I think, in the first 6 games of the season than we did all last year. It has been ridiculous. Again, this is a part of the thing where I think we're just settling down. Even in the Austin game, we lost to Austin, which was not a good night. But the play development that we had, that Austin keeper just stepped up to the plate big time. I mean, he had a massive game against us. So full props to him. We have to settle down. We have to create. Again, space is key, right? If you don't have space, you're going to force the ball, and it becomes that more difficult to get the ball into the back of the net. We've got a couple of great midfielders in Kevin Lambert, Baccaro, Colin Fernandez, and these guys are starting to click a lot more with our forwards, and our midfielders that are coming forward. And so honestly, I see a team where we have a very, very good chance of taking the West. And I think if we can improve our play through the season, then we've got a very good shot at having the cup.
Alan, anything from you? Any last questions or any last thoughts you want to share?
I'm just excited to see this rivalry in person for the first time, and I'm actually excited. I'm planning on heading out to Phoenix in June to watch the other half, so it'll be like a little Champions League X, 2 legs, home and home kind of deal for me. So I'm pretty excited to see the first leg.
Well, when you head out this way, shoot me an email at prcfanshow@gmail.com. Make sure we pregame a little bit and have a good time.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, and I know Dylan's made that trip before out to Phoenix. I still haven't got a chance to do that. I don't know if I'll be able to do it this year. So Dylan and Alan will be hanging out in Phoenix while I'm here in Orange County.
I can play Lord Protector for you both because it's just kind of a hostile environment. Got a little carried away after the Western Conference final game.
You're gonna get our fans riled up over that.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was riled up then and really kind of over the top. When it comes down to it, it was kind of a bad situation. But you know what? That's the past. This is the future. I'm not one of those people who thinks you have to be enemies with everybody. I say we have a good time and we just leave it on the pitch.
That sounds a little mature, Kevin. You want to dial that one down a couple and start sending some death threats on Twitter, because I think that's the way you want to go about this.
Well, let me go hit some Four Roses for about a half hour, and then I'll come back and.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Great shout! Great shout on the Four Roses.
Dylan, just go on and just look what they have to say about me and about our podcast sometimes, because they love to hate us, and I love it. I sort of love playing the enemy for Phoenix and their fans.
Ray likes to be the heel.
I do. You know, when I used to watch
stuff to do.
When I used to watch old school, when it was actually still WWF and not WWE, I used to love the bad guys. When I watch Disney movies, I love the villains. It's I do it out of fun. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be a jerk. But you know what? If people are gonna like take it that seriously when I'm saying stuff about butterfly gardens or whatnot, I think that was one of the hot topics last season. I think, Kevin, you had a conversation with some of your fans about it, that they thought I was being a jerk talking about that all Phoenix has is butterfly gardens. I was just calling out that, you know, when I went there, that was like one of the highlights of my trip. And it wasn't that I'm trying to say like, no, you guys don't have anything else, but yeah, it is what it is. And I like to have a little bit of fun. In the end, I have love for anyone that loves this game, whether you're a Phoenix fan, whether you're a, whatever fan you are, except if you're an Arsenal fan. I can't love you. I'm sorry. But yeah.
What about Ajax?
I have no problem with Ajax fans, because Ajax is, that's sort of grassroots soccer in Europe. They don't have big budgets, and they don't buy the best play, the big money players. It is what it is. And yeah, I'm sad that Tottenham lost today, but it is what it is.
Oh, I just wanted to hear you say it.
Let's do this. Let's get into some predictions on this match. Unless, Kevin, do you have any questions for us that maybe you want to share, or that you want your fans to hear you asking of us?
Well, I was wondering what you guys feel like the fan experience is going to be like with Phoenix. We've got a couple of buses that are going to be coming out there. I can't go, and I'm really upset that I'm not going to be there, because I had a blast last year. But, given the tensions that were there last year, how do you expect things are going to turn out this year?
Well, I'll say hopefully your fans like micheladas, margaritas, tamales, because apparently they're doing like a whole Cinco de Mayo thing on May the 4th, which I think is the wrong promotion. It should be the May the 4th, Star Wars promotion, but that's a different thing. Dylan, go for it. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if there's more cops this year.
Why? What you don't?
It's a regular season game, so yes, it really doesn't matter, and no one's going to be invading the pitch. But I would not be surprised if Irvine PD rolled out a few more guys to stand around this year, or this game, as opposed to last November. But I think all of the vitriol in this is mostly from Phoenix, and yeah. If you look at the amount of fans, Phoenix has had way more people to throw and to spew hate and to devote time to a hashtag, unless you're Ray. But I think generally, most of us don't care. Like, most of us just want a good game. And we have a lot of the people in the CLC are American Outlaws members, so they know people from Phoenix, from away games for the US team and stuff like that.
Sure.
I hung out with a bunch of them last year in August. Generally, I'd say there's not like an issue there, at least on our side. We just don't care. We just want a good game. We like meeting away fans. We like hanging out with them, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, obviously, everyone was pretty emotional and maybe slightly intoxicated last fall. Yeah. Maybe. Cannot confirm or deny. So I think that's where a lot of those tempers were flaring, and maybe some of the pitch invading was happening. But
all staff pros' fault.
It gets blown out of proportion, really. I mean, at the end of the day, like you said earlier, it's a game. I just want to see a good one. I want to go out on a Saturday night and see a good game. Feel like I got my money's worth out of it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So, hopefully it's just going to be a good time and everybody's going to have a good experience. I am jealous about the margaritas and tacos, but I'll survive. I'm sure I think we have tequila here in Arizona.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah,
we'll find we'll find some in June when we come out, and
yeah,
we'll over to the stadium. Sorry, we'll Lyft because that's the official partner.
Yeah, there you go. We have. I actually make 2 trips a year to Mexico for tequila runs, just for tequila, and so we always have a good supply on hand. So the game,
behind this.
the game is going to be interesting. I'm going to assume that Aaron Cervantes is going to be in the goal for the game. He seems to be not very experienced. Maybe is that a nice way of putting it?
Well, he's
He's
17
played
years
like 3
old.
games ever. So yeah, no,
Oh,
that's
he's
perfect.
17 years old. No,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
He's still in high school.
Wow. If we come in, if he's in goal, I know where our back four is right now, and if you've seen any of the tape from our past 2 games, our back four is really, really clicking right now, working well with Zach Lubin in the net. So defensively, we're going to be very strong. I gotta go with Phoenix takes this one 2-0.
Oh, we're going straight into predictions here, huh? Let me say that I'll jump into this right now. Aaron Cervantes, out of the goalies we have on the roster, he's the only one that was there last season. I think if he plays in this match, he's going to be ready for this. I think he wants to be part of that, I guess, revenge factor for Orange County. So, but yeah, so apparently Kevin thinks Phoenix wins, surprisingly. Let's go to Alan, because I haven't heard your voice in a while, Alan. What are your thoughts on this match? What's your prediction?
I think that this has a chance of being kind of a recreation of maybe the early San Antonio games. I do think, maybe the back line for Phoenix, they obviously beat Tacoma without giving up a goal. They obviously get through Sacramento without giving up a goal. Right. You was in Sacramento, right?
It was.
Yeah, going to Sacramento, not giving up a goal. I do think it's going to be lower scoring than we think. I'm going to call a 1-1 draw. I think Orange County sneaks one by. Aaron Cervantes does not give up a lot of goals. He makes some amazing saves. So yes, he's 17, but he also has a save of the week under his belt already. I think the goals he's given up have not really been anything that he could have done about maybe all of them except one. So I think he keeps us in the game, makes a couple of spectacular saves, and it's a 1-1 draw.
All right.
Dylan, what about you?
I got to stick from Sunday and say no one's going to hit the net despite how many shots are going to be taken. Honestly, I don't feel like I could give a good prediction without knowing who's in the starting lineup. If Darwin Jones plays, I think Orange County is a lot better. If Patrick McLean plays, I think that the defense is better. And that's no disrespect to Aaron, but you're talking about a guy who's played in the MLS and is experienced versus a guy who's just starting his career. He'll fight for that number 1 spot, and it's Patrick McLean's to lose. But yeah, I think it basically comes down to who's in our starting 11. Guys like Hugo Ariano and Darwin Jones have to play this match. And if that's at the expense of guys like Harry Forster and Jerry Von Wolfgang, sure, they scored their first goals of the season. But
yeah, if
anyone sits in this match of the 2 I mentioned, it has to be Forster. I don't think he's fast enough. So I think basically we gotta counter speed with speed here, or pull in Austin, that is, and just park the bus in the 18.
So you're saying we should do a farm animal night?
Yeah, I was going to say that was Austin through and through. They just parked the bus the entire game. It was ridiculous.
Keep Austin.
Yeah, weird. I think we could do a farm animal. I've had that queued up for like 10 minutes because I knew it'd come up.
But Kevin was talking about Austin earlier. I was hoping for it then, man, Dylan.
I queued it up because I knew it'd come back. But right. Yeah, I think it comes down to our starting 11. So I'm still going to stick with the 0-0 because everyone's just going to miss the goal.
All right.
That's the kind of result I would take right now.
Honestly, I can't remember what I predicted on the Rising as One podcast, Dylan. I don't know if you can refresh my memory on it. If not, don't worry about it because I'm going to just go crazy. Phoenix fans might love what I'm going to say right now, but just know I've been like horrible. I've probably gotten no predictions right this season. So I'm going to say Phoenix is going to win 5-0. And I'm just hoping for like this reverse, like, yeah. Because I've gotten everything wrong this year. So let's just keep that streak going. And
can you repeat that, Ray?
Soundbite.
What do you want me to repeat, Dylan?
Your scoring prediction for this match.
5-0 Phoenix.
So I'm the cynic, right? Everyone knows me as the cynic. I think I'm the cynic of the podcast, the cynic of the CLC. And here I am making a more positive prediction than Ray. I always thought I would be the first one predicting Orange County loss, but here I am.
I have gotten everything wrong this season pretty much. So
we got everything wrong last season.
I'm hoping I keep that streak alive, which means Phoenix loses. I said it now, Dylan. You made me say it. Phoenix is going to win 5-0. I'm just going to say that.
Watch them win 6-0 because of you.
Hey, can I bring something up out of left field real quick that I wanted to ask?
Sure, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
So I had heard about this, but I never took any time to look it up or see what the deal was. But I read a couple things about after the game last week, Aiden Quinn just kind of, I don't know, had a meltdown or something. What was going on there? Do you guys know why he was upset? What was going on?
Well, can I go since I was there?
Go for it, Dylan.
I think the root of the issue was that, and I think if you look at Aiden Quinn's MLS soccer scouting report, that I think what the words they use is he thinks he's better than he is. But I think what happens is he's one of the most passionate people on the team. There's a reason that he's one of our best players, and there's a reason that he's so successful. And I think it's because he demands so much out of himself. Now, he's not the Thomas Olsen. I think he's a lot quieter, where he's not going to sit there and berate his teammates on the pitch for not being up to his expectations or not trying. But the end of that Fresno match was a lot of not trying from a lot of Orange County players, to be completely honest. And I hope they know that. I hope that none of them listen and go, that's a surprise. They should know that that was unacceptable. And I don't think Aiden was pleased with that. And I think someone said something to him and he went off because he was already on that edge.
Okay.
It happens. I can't say that I wouldn't do that if I was in that situation. I was absolutely that player.
No, Aiden is the difference between an Aiden Quinn and a Thomas Olsen is Thomas Olsen was very vocal about it on the pitch, out in the field. I mean, pretty much anyone could see Thomas Olsen and his heart and his passion. Aiden Quinn probably has a similar amount of heart and passion, but he's not always as vocal about it, at least out on the pitch. I know times talking to him last season, especially when there was not the outcome that he was wanting or the team was wanting. You could hear it in his voice. You could see it in his eyes that he wasn't happy with it and he was frustrated with it. It's just one of those things, like Dylan said. So,
all right,
yeah.
That's
he's
fair.
the guy that actually cares, and it's weird because it's USL, and you'd figure most guys want to go play in the MLS or they're at the tail end of their careers, and they just don't care. But Quinn cares, and it's refreshing, if not maybe a little worrying in this context. But
well, we had some issues where the fans were concerned about effort on the field with Phoenix in the first couple of games. And one of the reasons why the teams really come together is that the team, Rick Shantz, brought him in a locker room 2 weeks ago, I guess now, and had a, we'll call it a very frank discussion with the players. And this is stuff that they publicized. Rick Shantz talked about it publicly, but then the team had their own team meeting too, and apparently beat the living crap out of each other. I mean, nobody knows the details at all. But the team that emerged from that locker room was completely different from the team that went in. Sounds like Aiden's just trying to be the one-man guy who's motivating people to get pissed off and play ball.
Well, I think he was the only one on the pitch that would have done that. So, yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think we talked about it last week. And we talked about it, I think, on the Rising as One pod. It's that when is it time to start worrying about this team that they won't be able to find a way to put together? I'm still hopeful. I'm still positive on that, although I'm saying 5-0 Phoenix on this match. But yes, yeah. I'll leave it at that.
5-0 kind of says it all, Ray.
Yeah. Hey, again, Phoenix fans, if you're listening, don't be too excited about that because I've been horrible on my predictions this season. So that's just why I'm doing it. It's let's do this, Kevin. You're free to take off if you want, but if you want to hang out with us for another 10 minutes, this is the part of the show we like to just maybe bring up any other MLS, USL news. See, Dylan, you started talking about MLS, and I just had that in my head.
Mentioned it one time.
Yeah, but you know what it is. Yeah, you know me. I mess up words all the time. So,
well, I'll hang if you don't mind. But if you don't mind, can I just do a little plug?
If you must, Kevin, plug away.
Well, because the quality shows are on YouTube. We all know this, and we've the PRFC Fan Show. We've been doing it for over a year now. We started last February. But our newest episode 34, we do this thing that's called USL Yeah, USL No. The USL Yeah is for positive things about the USL, and USL No is for bad things about the USL. And I've got a whole rant about things like cows and chickens and bubble bath shit going on the side, hype men on the sidelines and all that kind of stuff. And you said you're going to talk about USL topics, so I thought I'd throw it out there because all this crap. Now we see Wisconsin's going to have a cow, in their stadium for games, and it's like, why are they trying to turn the USL into a carnival? It makes no sense to me at all.
Maybe because Vegas. I don't know. Blame it all on Vegas.
Okay. I don't know. It's just we just think it degrades the USL. We think that it demeans all the hard work that legit teams are out there working for. If you want to draw people in, provide a quality product, promote the team the way that you should, market the way you should. I mean, you don't see teams in England going out there and bringing animals and stuff. The worst thing I can think of is Bubbles at what's her names, and that's harmless. But all these dumb gimmicks, let's just focus on creating quality experiences.
Yes. Well, is there 2 cows now?
Yeah, there's 2.
Let me ask you really quick, Kevin. Has Phoenix ever done any kind of crazy promotion like that? That you know of?
No, we do stuff like now at the beginning of games, the stadium goes completely lights out, and the 2 SGs on the end have these like red lightsaber things that they wave around, and we all turn on our cell phones and light up the stadium. It's just kind of an ambiance thing. We've done other promotions outside of the games, with Crave Donuts, and if we have a clean sheet for a game, then we get a free car wash from Jackson Car Washes, who's a chain here in Phoenix, stuff like that. But, we are certainly not going to, bring in a bunch of Princess Leia lookalikes and drag them on the field on May the 4th. That's just not going to happen.
Oh, I don't think we've done any crazy thing like that other than a kid racing against the Chick-fil-A cow, but that I think you could see that at almost any sporting event that you can think of. Really quick before we move on to just random stuff to talk about, one of our listeners that listens to almost every episode, Logan, his prediction for the match is 3-1 OCSC in the match. So just want to throw that out there because he's kind enough to put his prediction up on our YouTube stream.
Cool.
Logan, you best be right. And I'm sure you'll DM me about it if you already haven't on Twitter. I'm going to go check.
Maybe Logan. Maybe instead of a race against the Chick-fil-A cow, maybe they can dress someone up as Darth Vader, and Logan can race against Darth Vader up on the pitch at halftime.
Well, and halftime's open. Halftime's open season. You can do stuff at halftime, right? It's like I think we should have a Star Wars May the 4th game, and I was like, we should sacrifice a Wookiee in the middle of the pitch or something.
Why wouldn't it be a tauntaun? That's canon, man.
Dude.
Oh wait, it's super hot in Phoenix all the time. Never mind.
I gotta jot down my notes. That's got to be the title, right, for our episode. Maybe we should sacrifice a Wookiee at halftime. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for that recommendation there, Kevin. Let's do this. Any other USL news anyone wants to talk about? I have one topic, but let's see. If you guys bring it up, we can do it. Let me start with you, Kevin, as our guest. Do you have any other USL thoughts you want to talk about? I know you already shared a brief something, but do you have anything else on your mind?
I think the main thing is that we've brought in a couple of good quality teams for the Western Conference. I've really enjoyed having New Mexico United and El Paso join the ranks. I think they're going to bring color to the Western Conference. Very positive move. And also seeing a couple of the different youth development programs that are starting to crop up across the Western Conference, I think are really positive also. So overall, I think the MLS and the idiot that we called Garber could look at the USL, learn a couple of lessons, learn how to run a league, and move forward from there. But I've been very, very happy to see some of the developments.
So you mentioned MLS and you weren't very positive when you're talking about some of the MLS stuff. Then why does Phoenix want to join MLS? Why don't they just hang out with USL?
Well, I think when it comes to a front office situation, it's pretty simple. It's dollars, right? You're going to get a larger return on your investment if you're an MLS team, just from TV rights alone, probably. When it comes to the fan base, we're very torn. I'm one of the people who at first was very pro MLS. Let's join them. And I still am in that. I know it would be good for the club. But for me as an individual, as a fan, I'm very happy being in the USL. I'm totally cool with that. I'm one of those obnoxious people who thinks that Pro Rel should be a part of every league.
Yes.
And the MLS not doing it is completely stupid. I think the way that Garber has been running the expansion, I'm not just saying it because Phoenix keeps getting left out of conversations and stuff. It's all money. Exactly. It's all money. And there's got to be so many backdoor deals going on because look, St. Louis came out of nowhere, man. And what is in St. Louis? I will tell you what's in St. Louis. Nothing. They have
humidity.
history.
There's humidity there.
Yeah, there's. Hey, it's not a dry heat. Thank you.
And it's on my stupid family. So, you guys got my vote.
Well, no, and Phoenix and Sacramento have been trying for how many years now? I get this, Phoenix, you've been trying for a while. Sacramento's been trying for like 10 years to get
sure.
MLS, and they're still getting why not Sacramento? I get it. It's
the thing is, are they going to be able to build a fan base to support an MLS team in Sacramento? And that is a highly questionable thing to look at. You look at the attendance numbers for Sacramento, and they are struggling. There's this concept that Garber wants this, derby thing. So San Jose and Sacramento, could fight against each other once a year. But what does it matter if nobody gives a rat's ass about those two teams playing in the derby? If there's 15 people showing up, it doesn't matter. So I don't know.
Both teams suck too. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Did I say that?
You did, Dylan. You did.
So whereas the front office for Phoenix is very respectful and should be for the MLS and everything, and they have good relations there, those people like myself who really don't count when it all comes down to it, we've got stronger opinions.
All right, Dylan, do you have any USL or soccer related stuff you want to discuss?
Yeah, I might be stealing Alan's thunder here. I'm sure he was going to get to this, but I'm pleased to see the team and then the league get around to punishing a player for being stupid. Using a racial slur in a game, generally not a good idea. Trying to pass off that racial slur as, oh, I say it to my friends all the time.
In New York,
not a good idea. I'll make a flow chart and maybe post it on Twitter later about whether or not it's a good idea to use a racial slur.
Well, and is it a good idea to use a racial slur in your apology or in your justification?
Yeah. So, yeah, good on Tulsa for terminating that contract, and good on the league for suspending him for 5 further games in case some team feels really stupid and feels like picking him up. Wow. Just glad that it was a swift action. And really, much like our good friend Too Slow said on Reddit, maybe you should have asked Tony Walls about the use of that word before using it at a match, because it didn't work out too well for him last year when he was playing for St. Louis against us.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, you know what?
no.
Tony Walls flipped me off game.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten a rise at Diego Restrepo has used some words that I can't say on the podcast at me. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think someone else has. Oh yeah, Jesse Daly from the Seattle Sounders called me a fat. And then another word that would be alliterative with that. The joke's on him because we weigh the same.
Dylan, I mean, you make it easy for people to want to because you sort of are one of the more vocal members of County Line Coalition. So
I'm the vocal one heckling. So yes. We're vocal. They're just more supportive.
Hey,
but I like to heckle. And
the way I see it is if you can get a player to react, you're doing your job right.
That's how you unsettle
Awesome,
Diego Restrepo.
yes.
That's how you beat Austin. You just tell him he sucks. Tell him some other things.
Put a ball boy, back there behind the net or something,
Yeah, you guys could have won that match had you had someone go over there and just scream at him.
A ball boy.
He would have lost it. And then you guys would have won like 6-0.
6-1, they're gonna come in our house. We'll take care of business then.
Alan's been sitting around quiet. Alan, did Dylan steal your thunder with his thought?
I mean, that was one of many of the thoughts I had. I do think Kevin's right. Rumors have been flying around San Diego about whether USL is coming to San Diego or not. There's rumors around MLS, and the more time I spend paying attention to soccer as a fan of the game, right now, I would be way happier with the USL side than MLS side. Just knowing that would give a chance to really build the community up and connect the community, because right now it's like super fragmented with all the youth soccer and all of the whatever that goes on around here. I think the community would be more responsive to a USL side than an MLS side as well. I just think right now there's a little bit more with the teams and the fan bases, a little bit more authenticity that you get in USL than you get with a lot of the MLS teams. With a few excluded, LAFC, Portland, that really connect with the communities. They really try to make it. Yeah, they really try to make it about the community. There is a semblance of like with what they're doing in Austin that just leaves a really bad taste in your mouth. That you kind of just like, I don't want to associate with that kind of shenanigans.
Austin MLS, right? Austin.
Yes,
MLS.
yeah, Austin MLS, and what they're
Those
trying to
billboards.
What first and only or something like that.
Yeah,
whatever.
And
Lame.
like 2 years away. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Breaking news, so you can moo, Dylan, if you want. RGV is quickly found their way into 4th place in the West after beating Portland Timbers 2 tonight, 2-1.
You're supposed to wait for the moo, Alan. You're supposed to wait for the moo.
Put it in post-op. Okay. They have not lost a game in the last 5.
That one was louder than normal. Wow.
Yeah. They have one. They have 1-3 and drawn 2 in their last 5. They just came out of nowhere. I'm not sure if they're loaning some guys down.
Man.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Tyler
if that's
Derrick, actual wife beater Tyler Derrick played in goal again tonight, so that always helps.
Right. So it's like a team that was supposed to do nothing is in 4th place. Now, to be fair, they have 12 points. Orange County sits at 14th with 9 points. So a win puts them right back up there with the top of the West. That's what's so crazy right now about the West.
So go Orange County, even though I said 5-0 Phoenix. But yeah. Alan, let me just say this. San Diego deserves a USL team. I was really all for 1904 FC joining the USL. I don't know what happened with that.
Lack of local ownership.
That sort of, yeah, because it was all like Europeans.
Yeah, it was all a bunch of like Chelsea guys, like Demo Ba and Eden Hazard was.
Yes. So why was I so for it if it was Chelsea guys? Yeah. Let's do this. Let's get into our final random thoughts. This is non-soccer related, non-USL stuff. Kevin, I didn't prepare you for this, so I don't know if you're ready for it, but I will let Alan go first since to give you a chance to think of just a random thought to say to our listeners. So Alan, go for it.
I know we talked about this in a previous pod, but we have to RIP the Mighty 1090 in San Diego. They have officially been pulled off of their stream. and have been told to pack up their offices. Some of these guys have been working with the radio station since it opened 16 years ago. A lot of these guys are kind of the voice of San Diego sports in the community. They're really beloved in the community. They represent what the community is about, what they care about. And it's kind of sad to see that there's a lot of people, not just the on-air talent, but the people behind the scenes kind of getting hosed by this company. And, it's always sad when that happens. And hopefully the folks there at Mighty 1090 find a place to land, and hopefully somewhere local where they can continue doing a great job promoting sports.
Hey, Alan, if you want to tell any of them, if they want to join us on our podcast, we will welcome them with open arms. We can't pay them anything, but if they want to join on the grassroots movement, they can join us on our podcast.
I'll pass that along.
What about, let me go to Kevin. Kevin, do you have any random thought you want to share with our listeners?
Well, everything in my head right now, it's been Game of Thrones and a little bit of Avengers, but mostly Game of Thrones. But I will say this, for those who don't, who are not familiar with it, there's a podcast. It's Phoenix based, but it's not Phoenix Rising focused. It's a pod called Across the Pitch. And these guys are fantastic. They focus on smaller League One, League Two teams. They're a huge fan of, say, Accrington, Stanley, and other teams like that. And they get interviews with people that just really surprise me. Managers of Accrington, Belmont. I'm trying to think of other small clubs that they've been with. But if you're looking for a podcast that's really authentic, just takes a different direction because they don't talk about the big clubs hardly at all. Across the Pitch is a great cast to check out.
And you just got Dylan all riled up with his Hatters and Luton Town and whatever.
We're going up.
You know what though, Dylan, you gotta respect our sort of quote unquote partner club out there in Europe. Or
hey, they're clear of the relegation zone. So
AFC Wimbledon clear of the relegation zone. Awesome. They didn't drop. They looked like they were going to drop 2 months ago. It looked like they were dropping, and however they did it, they turned it around, which gives hope to Orange County fans that Orange County can turn it around. Dylan, your random thoughts for this episode.
Man, I got a lot of thoughts because there's a lot of thoughts in my life. I respect women. So yeah, AFC Wimbledon, they play Bradford City.
Around.
Bradford City is the bottom of the table currently, so that's just going to help them that's the one last win they need. It's the last game this weekend. It could get them up all the way up into 16th place. But they're not guaranteed safety yet, I suppose. Walsall is the most dangerous team to them, but they are most likely to actually see it out. Elsewhere, man, there's so many thoughts. Luton today, after Peterborough beat Portsmouth and Sunderland lost, Luton and Barnsley are guaranteed promotion into the championship, so that's awesome. You will be able to watch Luton Town back in the championship after 10 years
on ESPN
Plus next season, starting in August. If you want to come watch with me, by all means, you are more than welcome to. We'll drink early in the day. I don't have any issues with that.
Yeah, like 4:30 in the morning matches on ESPN Plus. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'll be drinking. I'm sure my roommate will love it. Elsewhere, I always give a literature recommendation, and this week I'm not going to give a literature recommendation because I'm just going to force you guys to listen to me read 2 poems.
Damn it.
So,
oh boy.
Yeah, no one likes reading, which is obvious. So,
and even more people don't like listening to poems. But go for it, Dylan. Torture our listeners.
There's going to be a poem reading. All right, this one is called For a Woman Who Someday Might Become a Nun. For a Woman Who Might Someday Become a Nun by Charles Bukowski. She writes me from Paris with a forwarding address in Athens that she did not join the missionaries, which is good. I'd hate to waste such great stuff. Poets need meat with their wine. And if she blows into my place smoking a Dutch cigar, I'll have to show her a few tricks I learned from a Spanish whore in a small room above a bar outside the Plaza Monumental de Tijuana. The afternoon Capetillo, Arowana, and Rosas were on. Then we'll discuss Rimbaud. Alan's excited because there's a TJ reference in there. And then here's another one.
Go Cholos.
Go Cholos, I guess.
Man.
I saw the most beautiful girl admiring some succulents outside of the Trader Joe's. It was one of those weeknights where I'd given up on cooking again, the bachelor's greatest delinquency. It was an early autumnal night, and I was wasting precious seconds of the end of baseball, the end of summer, fun and light. We were unassuming, her in her plain white t-shirt, gray yoga pants, shoulder-length blonde hair draped with curls. That soft, inviting smile accented by dimples. She gave no notice to me, but smiled as she found the one and carried it inside to the checkout. Pink Floyd drifted between my ears. She shines on, and I am the crazy diamond. So thank you for indulging me. Also, I went to a soccer game on Sunday with Alan, watched the San Diego Sockers of
You could have just said that.
And it was actually pretty cool. If you guys like hockey and you guys like soccer, this is the baby of those two sports, and it is a precious, beautiful child that should be preserved, and Orange County needs to get a team because, my God, it was so cool, and I don't want to drive a 160-mile round trip just to see that happen.
I thought lacrosse was the baby of soccer and hockey.
No, it's indoor soccer.
Okay.
For sure.
So for those of you that have not unsubscribed from us from the torture that Dylan just gave you there, I thank you so much.
It's literature, man. It's important that people read.
Oh, Dylan.
Stop playing Candy Crush or whatever people play. Get off of Facebook for a second and go read a book. It's good for you.
Okay. Yes. Now I see. I don't know what to say now. I'm like lost off of all this. Oh,
lost in the sauce.
Man, Dylan. Dylan.
It's time to give up, Ray. I think I closed this podcast out.
I've never seen one shut down so quickly.
Oh, you should just see anytime I ask a girl out. Then that's usually record time. Record time.
You go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to stop this whole random thought thing at the end of each episode if Dylan's gonna spew 10 minutes worth of poetry to our listeners, unless they like it. If you like it, listeners, go on to Twitter, Facebook, let it be known that you like it. I'll let
DM me. If you DM me, I don't have notifications, so don't get mad if it takes me 6 hours to reply.
All through your poetry now, I forgot what my random thought was, Dylan. So good job.
Tottenham lost to Ajax. That was your random thought, right?
That was not my random thought. So I'm going to end it with this. Kevin, I know you talked about your show a little bit earlier. If you want to let the listeners know where they can find you on the social media apps on the interwebs.
Sure. Thanks. You can find us, first of all, on YouTube. We are a YouTube show. For better or worse, we show our faces on video. It's PRFC Fan Show. Same for our Twitter account. We are very Phoenix Rising focused, but we do touch on other stuff. I'm a big Bundesliga fan, so I hit Bundesliga topics too.
And, I sort of forgot, this is sort of new to us because for those of you that listen to our podcast, we always had this thing at the end. Hey, if you want to sponsor our show, join on it or let us know. But being part of BGN, there's a bigger group sponsorship going on. So I forgot to say this at the beginning of the episode, but we are brought to you by Roughneck Scarves and Golden Goal Press. And now towards the end of the show, this is what I'm supposed to say. So I'm going to say it. I want to say thanks to our sponsor, Golden Goal Press, for they are the best choice for you to get custom shirts, hats, mugs, and other items for just yourself or your organization. Check out their amazing products at a fraction of their places at goldengoalpress.com. And also thanks to Roughneck Scarves, official scarf supplier to MLS, USL, and US Soccer. Get custom scarves for your group or team at roughneckscarves.com. We're part of Beautiful Game Network, BGN.FM. Make sure you get the Twitter handle right or you will get taken to some random weirdness. So we're not even going to go there. Dylan, where can our listeners find you on social media?
You can find me on social media at OCSC_Dylan on Twitter or on Reddit. Again, I don't have notifications for either of those things. So if I don't reply to a DM or something like that, give me a few hours and I normally will get on that when I get bored or go to the bathroom like any person that look at Ray's face right now. Come on, man. You're probably replying to all those Phoenix people every chance you get to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. for Phoenix people, that's what I do is when I'm, in the bathroom doing, what I got to do. That's when I go to check out what's going on with Phoenix. But other than that,
this podcast is brought to you by sitting down and washing your hands.
Okay. Alan, what about you?
You can find me on the Twitter machines at aunderwood48. It's lots of Liverpool stuff right now, some teacher union stuff, and obviously not the Soccers anymore.
And you can follow our Twitter. Well, you can follow my personal Twitter at DJ Ray Samora. You can also follow the podcast Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast podcast. One of the two. I can't even remember now. Darn it, man. I'm ruining things.
It's SoccerCast.
There we go.
You can also
Dylan.
find the BGN Network at the BGN FM on Twitter or at bgn.fm on any browser.
The BGN.
It is critical. If you have a Twitter account and you do not have childhood restrictions, go to the BGN FM and not BGN FM. I cannot stress this enough. And definitely don't do that at work. And definitely don't do that in front of your significant other.
I guarantee you right now, and like anyone that's listening to this podcast that doesn't know us is searching the other option right now just to see what the hell we're talking about. Yeah, we learned the bad way, Kevin, that it is the BGN FM on the Twitters.
That I am going to check that out.
You can find our website, orangeandblacksoccercast.com, or if it's too long for you, OCSCpodcast.com, where you can find our episodes, our news coverage, pretty much anything you need to know about the club, including the schedule, the players, stats, and all that fun stuff. Yes, so I want to thank Kevin from the PRFC Fan Show. I think I got that right this time. For joining us. We appreciate it again. We love talking with people, fans, grassroots media from other teams across the nation. And in the end, I know there's this rivalry between Orange County and Phoenix, but in the end, we love what you guys provide for this whole soccer landscape. And we want to thank you for coming on. Dylan, Alan, as always, thanks for coming and talking to me for now an hour and a half, pretty much. This is Ray, Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.